I got an article for you today from Not the Bee, and this might turn into multiple articles because I don't think this one is quite long enough to make a video out of, but the title of this article is Leftist Gun Group Uses Note Written on Bullet That Killed Charlie Kirk to Recruit Students at Georgetown University. And that message is, "Hey, fascist, catch." And it says the only political group that celebrates when Nazis die, which I don't think that's the case. You're the only political group that celebrates when Nazis die? Not to mention that, why are you celebrating when people are, then their lives are ended? These aren't pedos, kid touchers. I can understand that. They aren't SAers. These are people who differ from you in a political point of view. And you don't even know what a Nazi is. Nazi stands for National Socialism. Now you're thinking that they are the Germans during World War II that wanted to exterminate the Jews. I know, that's what they're thinking. These progressives are so stupid, they don't know what they're even talking about. But the only people around here who are trying to eliminate anyone are you guys. Just because somebody says, hey, you know what, you're not actually trans, you have a mental problem, it's psychological in nature, they're not trying to eliminate anyone. They're just saying, hey, look, deal with your mental bullshit, and you don't need to worry about having your body thoroughly and destructively modified. Okay? Now let's get into this article and see what it has to say. Remind me which people are the evil fascists again. Yeah, good opening line, Harris Rigby. It says, this being posted at Georgetown. This is being posted at Georgetown. It was what Andrew Colvett posted on, I'm guessing this is Twitter. And it's the flyer that we looked at already. The John Brown Club at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. is advertising for new members by using one of the phrases written on the Charlie Kirk assassin's bullet casing and proclaiming that they celebrate the deaths of Nazis. And we got Taya Leone here saying, call the FBI. All right then. How is not a terroristic threat? Yeah, seems like a terroristic threat to me. The John Brown Club is a left-wing gun rights group named after the 19th century anti-slave fighter who tried to initiate a slave revolt in the South by capturing the United States weapons arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. The John Brown Club aims to organize leftist militias to counter what they believe is right-wing extremism, aka normal American Christian dads like Charlie Kirk. Yeah, right-wing extremism is just, well, there are people that speak out against the woke nonsense. I'm a right-wing extremist because I don't agree with woke. Because I'm not Christian. That doesn't apply to me. I'm not a dad. That doesn't apply to me. I am an American. I am pretty normal. I guess maybe I'm not, if you break it down and look at me closely. Before I move on, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed to YouTube as unsubscribed people. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate you supporting my channel. Let's get it back into the article here. Members of the John Brown Club were among the Antifa group that attacked an ICE facility in Texas earlier this year. That's real smart. You should be attacking ICE facilities. That's an obstruction of justice, which is a felony, stupid. Now, nothing seems to have been happening to most of these people for the majority of these cases. But don't be attacking ICE. They have a job to do. So if you don't like it, go talk to Congress. Elect the different Congress people. Ask them to change the laws. We got Andy No here, and he says, yes, people are focusing a lot on the Socialist Rifle Association. Still, they should also know that the John Brown Gun Club, which is an even more extreme far-left militia, has been linked to several domestic terrorist attacks. That group is part of the Antifa network. In 2019, the Antifa gunman who tried to blow up the Tacoma I assume that's Washington, ICE facility was a member of the JBGC, John Brown Gun Club is what it stands for. Willem Van Sprosen refined his skills in making a homemade, unregistered rifle. In the group, he sent an Antifa Bella Ciao manifesto to his comrades before the deadly attack. Unlike Tyler Robinson's parents, they didn't contact police. In 2025, the Texas Antifa members accused of shooting up the ICE facility in the Alvarado shooting, one officer in the neck, were revealed to be members of the Elm Fork JBGC. Yeah, so making unregistered firearms. I know how to 3D model. I'm really good at it. I've done it a long time. I've been doing it for, how long? When did I first start 3D modeling? 2001 was the first time I sat down in front of 3D software to 3D model. So I've done it a long time. I also know how to use 3D printers. They're not that hard. They're really user-friendly these days, and they're not that expensive anymore. I could sit here and make untraceable firearms all day long. Not saying that I want to do that. The principles of a gun, the mechanics of a gun are not that difficult. And I don't even need a gun. What I need is a barrel and something to strike the bullet with. That's it. That's a gun. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, and I don't suggest that you do this, because there are certain people out there who would be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing this is another thing. It's like, why would you do that? Because we know what firearms are used for. So yeah, don't do that. But there are people out there who have this know-how. Okay, so this is the gun club right here. All these people. They look tough, don't they? Mm-hmm. In case you need further proof of their left-wing affiliation, the John Brown Club is closely allied with Antifa and Trantifa, groups that fight for transgenderism and Marxist revolution. Oh, geez. Our defense is our own. Armed queers, F the state. Okay, then. Rose City Antifa. We joined Collectiva almost a year ago because we firmly believe in a social media space that is radically different than Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We deserve a space that is ours, where booting Nazis and adhering to our values is a given, not a desperate plea to moderators on corporate platforms. We are grateful to the folks who have made Collectiva a reality, and we are glad to be here. Expect us to be more active on the Fediverse going forward. Okay. John William Sherrod says, anyone involved in posting and organizing this should be arrested for incitement. We are not serious as a society if we don't come down hard on this behavior. I'm so sorry Andrew has to see people celebrating his friend's murder. Yeah, so this is in response to this flyer where they're like, hey, fascist, catch. Disgusting. Breitbart News, Jimmy Kimmel says the alleged assassin doesn't represent anybody's ideology. Now, leftist groups are reposting the message reportedly scrawled on his bullet. Yep. He's not part of any group. I got something about that. Let's take a look.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
That's what he actually said.
And that was a lie.
Okay, so this is all things considered. They're talking to Michael Knowles. And we just heard Jimmy Kimmel say, hey, the MAGA is trying to characterize this shooter of Charlie Kirk as anything but them. Okay?
Was a lie because the alleged shooter was on the left. I'm not surprised that the affiliates wanted to cancel his show.
I guess I'm interested, we've just been talking about President Trump's remarks last night, which you interpreted as a joke. Some other people may hear that and disagree strongly, but you're defending the use of humor, even in a situation like last night. Do you also defend the right of someone to use humor on television, even if you really don't like what they said?
I'm certainly fine defending Jimmy Kimmel's bad jokes, but what I take issue with is not his joke that came at the end of that monologue. What I take issue with is his lie that said that the assassin who murdered Charlie Kirk was on the right rather than on the left, contrary to all of the available evidence.
Just want to note, I don't think he said he was on the right. Can I turn it?
No, technically he didn't say he's on the right, but he did say the MAGA is trying to disassociate with him, saying he's not one of us. So that implies that Jimmy Kimmel thinks that he's a MAGA. That the shooter of Charlie Kirk is a MAGA. But how else would you interpret that? But of course, it's NPR. They're super woke, so they're super stupid. They don't understand that they are following a religious ideology in their progressive mindset. That's just a religious ideology, which I can't get behind. I want to move on to this article here to fill out the rest of the time. Make sure we get a decent-sized video here, decent length video here. This is also not to be. Trans cyclist tells female protesters to suck a sawed-off shotgun. Says, we end Nazis. Oh. Very nice. Very considerate of you, very kind of you, very thoughtful of you about other people. Yeah, we have to stop with being at odds with each other. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean they should be sucking off a shotgun. How are we going to have a civilization ever if we can't disagree? Because people are always going to, there's people who always disagree, period. Can never fully agree with anybody. Okay, so this says, this past weekend, 3 men competed in a women's bike race, and one of them crushed all the competitors without remorse. Okay, here we go. 3 males competed in a women's cycling championship yesterday, with one dominating the race and taking first place. When members of the women's rights group protested their participation, race officials attacked them. Women Are Real said he dominated this race from the start. It wasn't even really a race at all. He was just way out front the entire time. Mr. Wolf did not have a good showing at all. Maybe not his normal event. I don't know what that Mr. Wolf did. That doesn't really make any sense in the rest of the post there, the tweet. Women Are Real is the name of a group that showed up to protest against the event for allowing men to compete against women. We were met with open hostility, not only from spectators, but from one of the male participants, Connor Chelsea Wolf, a man born in 1993 who has had significant hormone therapy and surgery to make himself look and sound like a woman. Yeah, there's a language warning here. All right, so go suck a sawed-off shotgun. You're a Nazi piece of crap. We kill Nazis. That's Connor Wolf's response to women holding no males and female cycling signs. Wolf is notorious for threatening women, celebrating Kirk's death, and vowing to burn the U.S. flag on the Olympic podium. Okay, let's see if we can watch this on X here.
Oh, the shotgun, motherfucker!
What's going on here?
Okay, that was the comment about putting a shotgun in your mouth. And it didn't sound like he was serious when he said that. He was just like, why are you harassing me? Shut up. Go do this. So people can speak hyperbolically. It's okay. I think that was a hyperbolic statement. So making a mountain out of a molehill in this case, we'll move on and see if he says other things that are inappropriate. Let's see.
We got some fucking fascists out here crashing the race and they just stole their protest sign. Get fucked, Nazi!
They stole what?
I can tell you,
Their
these two
protest
women had a sign that said
No males
no
and female
males
cycling.
and female cycling.
I don't have you in that.
And we're not a big fan of it, so
Yeah, we don't
kind
fuck
of-
with
Yeah, right,
fascists.
right.
So we just took the sign.
That's how we feel about Nazis around these parts. This is
And-
America. We kill
Do you
Nazis.
know? Do you know that we were actually asked by women racing to come here?
Not
Women
in this
racing
race,
against you. Oh yes, we
Not
were,
in
hon.
this year's.
Yes, we.
I would not be surprised at all if women asked him, because women don't want to compete against men. Why would you want to compete against a man? Most likely he's going to beat you. It's just kind of how it works.
We were,
Even
Mister.
even if you were, we don't give a fuck because
Okay.
they're also sore losers.
Well, you know what? The women that you think are your friends
Yeah.
are not your
So
friends.
great. Thanks for letting
Sounds
us
like
know
they
that
should
there are more of
get
you.
more skills.
Yes, and they're riding next to you,
They should get skills.
racing you. Okay.
And they can't do shit, can they?
Unfortunately, today,
You ain't gonna get anywhere with Formula Fix, motherfucker.
Really?
You got somewhere with Yusuf, but they were already fascists all along. So,
Okay.
like,
all right. So a woman who actually wants to race against other women is a fascist.
I'm gonna play some music.
hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having the man show up.
Yeah, look at these idiots who support trans men competing against women. Giving the finger, just blowing them off, like, you don't matter, you're stupid. That's so disrespectful. I hate it when people are like smug like this, because these people are actually wrong. They want to end the lives of people in the country just for disagreeing with them. Even though they're the ones who are fascists and Nazis. They're the ones who are trying to genocide people, trying to end lives of people, trying to control everything, trying to take control of the system, trying to make the system something that it was never intended to be. We're supposed to have freedom in this country, and what they want to do is impose their will on everybody. They think that they're imposing freedom. They came to me and they ended my life. They would say, it's because he spoke out against trans people by saying that I think that being trans is a mental illness. That's not speaking out against trans people. Be trans. I'm not going to stop you. I don't think you should be hurt for being trans either. But I don't think we should be exposing children to this. It's hard enough for kids to grow up and know what they want to be without being confused by this sort of thing. And then you end up getting people who are regretting having transitioned. And it should never happen. You should never regret transitioning, ever. But as long as you keep pushing your agenda, we're going to have people regretting transitioning.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so she keeps chanting, put the shotgun in your mouth. Yeah, it's gone beyond hyperbole at this point.
Why should women have to race against men? We don't want to engage with you.
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Why do you let men in the race? I don't want to engage with you because I don't respect you. Sorry. I'm a Nazi, piece of shit. Bye. Why should men have to race? Go Michelle!
Vile, disgusting, evil. It took real balls to call these women Nazis. Yeah, it does take real balls, and this person has them. It does seem to be on brand for Wolf, however. Here he is celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination last week. Being a Nazi is completely optional, by the way. He didn't have to do all that, but he did, and now he's dead. Don't live your life in a way that the world is better. It's cut off, so maybe there's more to that. I don't know. Did you know he represents the U.S. in women's BMX in the Tokyo Olympics? Yeah, he's not a woman though. Nice smile there, Wolf. Damn. Missing one tooth, 2 broken teeth? Good job. Representing the USA BMX in the Olympics, a transgender athlete, Chelsea Wolf, who has shown pride for both the team sponsor and the USA by vowing to burn the US flag if the American team reaches the podium. Oh yeah, that's a great message. If you despise the US so much, why are you still here? I don't understand these people that they hate it to what the US stands for. It's not just like, oh, we've gone the wrong way. Our culture's messed up. We got to fix it. There's no. I hate everything the US stands for. Let's destroy the flag. Why'd you just leave? Anyway, Beth Bourne, one of the protesters at the event, got additional footage of mostly peaceful violence against her group. Yeah, mostly peaceful violence. Most insane and terrifying 2 minutes of my life, police reports have been made. Both race organizers need to be permanently banned from USA Cycling for physically assaulting me. Men do not belong in women's cycling.
This is our women's fixie racing. Your announcers during the 2 fixie races upcoming, Chase Brady and Awesome Alana.
Do you guys know if those are all women in that race?
What do you mean?
It looks like there's a couple men.
No, there's no men.
No men? Okay, thanks. Hi, were there any men in that race? Are there any men in that race?
No, all women. As far as I know.
As far as you know?
Really have a close inspection.
Do you think it would be okay if we did some kind of testing to make sure they're all women?
You know, these are the people that you can talk to right here.
Sorry.
Thank you for having us. We're stoked to see how our race goes. Thank you for being here.
Hi. You guys, will there be any testing to see if they're all women in this race?
We have policies in place.
Oh,
you
sorry.
You can stop filming.
Give me my phone.
Do not film me.
Judy! You do not touch me! Do not get away from me! Can somebody get...
Get the fuck out of here!
Oh, wow. So yeah, that's some pretty intense, mostly peaceful violence there. Yeah, those people are assaulting a elderly woman. As far as I can tell, what a little bit I've seen of this woman is she is not young. She's at least in her 60s. And the 2 people who attacked her were much older, or much younger than her. In their 20s is what they look like. Maybe in their 30s, but still, that's young enough to do some serious damage to an old woman. So what do you think you're doing? You think that a person can't come up here and ask you questions and film? This is a public space. You don't like what they're asking you, what the questions they're asking you? You see, this is how it goes with the progressives. If they can't argue against you, they attack you. They violently attack you. But yeah, it's the right wing that gets blamed for everything. It's people like me. I wouldn't consider myself right wing even, but I just am like, look, why are we letting men compete against women? That's not okay. Oh, you're a Nazi. We have to hurt you. You can't ask those kinds of questions around here. What's wrong with you? What are you thinking? So the article goes on to say that dude then stole her phone. What kind of man would bully? Okay, so she's a 55-year-old woman by yelling obscenities in her face and stealing her phone. Let's see.
Alright, nothing's here, folks. We have our racers coming out on the backside, looking like they're gonna go into that hairpin. Let's see who's gonna come around the corner first here.
Person only as a teenager.
So we've got ourselves a very challenging course for our Fixie Bike.
I cut it after that because it doesn't really show anything. At that point, all it shows is at the very end, the young man walking back the other way. Most insane and terrifying 2 minutes of my life. Police reports have been made. Okay, so we already read that. This is the part that we already saw. Okay, here we go. What is this? So it said up here that stole her phone and her signs. Now down here, your God won't protect you. We are shaking because you know what you're doing is bigoted. No, James, I'm shaking because you physically attacked me. Yeah, that would definitely do it for me. Let's see here.
There's men in that race. James, what's your last name?
Shaking because you know what you're doing is bigoted.
I'm calling the police.
Your God won't protect you. You're such an awful person.
It's not bigoted.
You're such an awful person.
It's not bigoted.
Why are you shaking it? You know what you're doing is wrong.
Stop discriminating. Don't take my side. That's stealing. That's theft. That's theft. That's theft right there. I'm calling the police. Stop discriminating against women.
Exactly. It has nothing to do with her religion. I'm not a religious person. I don't want women being beaten in races by people who are born as men and then claim to be a woman later on.
I'm getting my sign. That's my property. Don't touch me. That's assault. out! That's my sign!
I don't know.
You should have shown up for our team out here today. I'm seeing the freshman hiking crew out here from LA.
Don't touch me!
And Big St. Louis.
Pretty crazy stuff. And that's the end. That's the end of this article and this incident with these women protesting these men competing in women's sports. But you notice how much violence that these people want to bring to the situation instead of wanting to talk. These ladies were here expressing their opinion. They're allowed to do that. You might not like it, but that's just the way it is. They're allowed to. So we have to simmer everything down here. There's too many people who are being assassinated at this point in time due to these political points of view on both sides. People, of course, have been saying for decades, oh, it's the right, the most extreme terrorist group in the country, which is just a lie. Period, hands down. It's not even a little bit true. It's the left doing this stuff. They're encouraging people to do this stuff. You heard the rhetoric of these people, these racers here. You saw the actions of the race officials. And then you see this John Brown gun Club trying to promote the assassination of people that they disagree with. Can we all just get along? Do we all try to like put our differences aside and be like, well, we have to survive in this country together? No, we can't do that? Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you then. If we can't do that, we don't have a country because we're not ever going to be able to come to terms on everything. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.